Hey guys, in this requested video, I'm going to be sharing with you what to do and what not to do when working with clothing manufacturers, especially if you want to work with ones overseas and you want to get the best results. I mean, who doesn't want to get the best results, right? Well, a lot of people make these mistakes that can really hurt their sampling and production process, and I don't want you to go through this. So if you're looking to start a clothing line or you're looking to create a cut and sew collection and you want to work with manufacturers, definitely continue watching this video because it's going to be so helpful for you. And make sure to stick around till the very end because I will also be sharing a special checklist that I've made so that you can get prepared before you work with any manufacturer. So let's dive right in. Welcome to the Start Your Fashion Business channel. My name is Stephanie and I'm the host of this channel. I'm also a sustainable brand owner and an ethical garment producer and a fashion business coach. So I'm just really here to share with you all of these fashion business tips that I've accumulated from my 12-year experience of being in the fashion industry. Fashion is my passion, so if you do want to learn about all things fashion business, then you've come to the right place. Now, if you are new around here, make sure to subscribe to my channel too so that you don't miss any of my new videos because I drop one every Saturday. Now, I also invite you to check out my older videos if you want more content. Before we get started, make sure to grab a pen and a notebook and get comfortable. Get like water, get some matcha, and really just get situated because I'm going to be sharing a lot of information that you will want to write down about the do's and don'ts of working with a clothing manufacturer. Number one, don't start without a tech pack. If you're looking to create a custom clothing line and do a cut and sew collection, then please invest in a tech pack. This is the most important document and you must have one for each and one of your designs. And you have to make sure that the tech pack is complete. A lot of brands that send tech packs, sometimes they miss the most important part of the tech pack, which is the spec tab. The spec tab is essentially a diagram that has all of the different points of measures of that design. Now, if this essential part is missing, then technically it defeats the point of having a tech pack. Now, a tech pack contains many different things and it can be overwhelming if you don't know how to create a tech pack, but there are technical designers out there which you can hire, but this is something you should not skip. Because if you skip this, then you're going to run the risk of receiving samples that are not up to your vision and not up to your standard. Because your manufacturer will look at your tech pack and they're going to base that sample on the information that you provide in the tech pack. So it's really important as well that every piece of information that is in the tech pack is correct. So for instance, if you have a specific colorway in the tech pack and maybe you send off the tech pack, but you change your mind and you want a different color. If you can tell your manufacturer and tell them, hey, I want to change this color. But if, for instance, they don't see that email or maybe they didn't write that information down, they could still make the color that is specified in the tech pack, and technically they wouldn't be wrong because you didn't update your tech pack. So with any changes and any revisions, you must have this document that you also update accordingly. And it's honestly going to save your life and make the sampling process so much easier if you have a tech pack. Now, I know this sounds overwhelming, but honestly, it's an investment and it's going to save you so much money and headaches in the long run. Number two, don't forget your agreement. So there's going to be multiple agreements that you might want to put in place with your manufacturer. For instance, if you are sending over your designs with a manufacturer that you have never worked with, then you want to give them an NDA, which is a non-disclosure agreement, so that you're basically protecting your designs. So this is a very important step that you can do once. So I really suggest to do that. And once you start sampling, before you actually begin, make sure that you're both very clear on expectations and you want to know what the lead times are. You want to also know what happens if you need to revise your pattern and your samples. So definitely ask your manufacturer how many revisions is included. And also what happens if something is not followed according to spec. Who will be having to pay to create another sample? And once you have all of this information, create a short agreement and sign that before you start sampling. Now, once you've passed the sampling stage and you're going into production, then you definitely need to have a production agreement. So think about all of these different things when you are going to be working with your manufacturer that will really protect you and your business. Number 3, don't rush everything. Especially if this is your first time sampling and your first time working with this manufacturer, you want to allow as much time possible. So you don't want to rush things. You don't want to, have to launch 2 months from now because your sampling time might take you longer than 2 months. So it's really important for you first to sit down with yourself and to map out a realistic timeline. So if you have a certain launch date for your brand or your collection, backtrack and create these mini goals for yourself while also keeping the manufacturer's lead times in mind. So definitely ask your manufacturer how long it takes for them to make your samples, and then on top of this, also think about the shipping time, because if you're working with a manufacturer overseas, they're going to have to ship this sample to you, which could take a couple of days, it can even take a couple of weeks. So you want to account that in to your timeline. And on top of that, you're going to have to maybe go back into like a revision round. So, each time you give your feedback, how long will it take for your manufacturer to complete that revision? And perhaps they have to send that sample back to you. So there's going to be some back and forth. And you're going to definitely be more comfortable with this timeline once you get the hang of it and you've worked with your manufacturer after 1 season. But typically, if it's the first time and this is your first rodeo, definitely don't rush things. You want things to be perfect. You want things to definitely go according to your schedule. So map out a realistic timeline that works for you and also works with your manufacturer. Overseas manufacturers may also have different holidays, so it's very important for you to get familiar with them. For instance, if you're working with a Chinese manufacturer, they have a really huge holiday over Chinese New Year's, which if you don't know this, it will affect your sampling and possibly your production schedule. Number 4, do keep all communication lines open and clear. Make sure that you have everything in writing. So even if you're talking to your manufacturer over the phone or over Google Hangout, or perhaps you actually get to meet them, make sure that you actually recap everything, especially when it comes to, your samples and revisions in writing, and then send that recap to them via email so that they have it and they can confirm that they've received that so that they're not processing anything wrong. I typically like to work with Slack, but I know that not all manufacturers are actually super tech savvy, so it's fine that you keep things on email, and that's completely normal, but you want to make sure that you keep a separate thread for different subjects so that it doesn't pile up and that, it's not going to be really hard to find later if you need to look at an older email. So it's really important for you to keep communication lines open wherever that may be. Have a good communication system in place and manage your expectations so that you can maintain a healthy communication line with your manufacturer. So ask yourself, how many updates do you need? And see if your manufacturer can actually deliver that. If you want to have a weekly update, if you want them to be able to send you photos before they actually ship the physical samples to you, really manage these expectations so that they also know what you expect from them. And this will really decrease any risks because you're literally not allowing for any miscommunication to happen. Number 5, do give frequent and concise feedback. Feedback is everything, so you must learn how to give good feedback to your manufacturer so that they can clearly understand you and process any future revisions based on your instructions. So once you receive your samples, you're going to want to measure everything, you want to take photos of them, and hopefully they're good to go. But if you have to revise something, then you want to compile your fit notes and you want to make it very easy to understand. So talk to your manufacturer as if they are a 10-year-old. Keep it very simple because you don't want to add in language that's going to confuse them, and really have these instructions super clear, have them dated as well, so that when your manufacturer receives it, they know exactly that this is the latest version. So they're going to base all of these revisions on your feedback, and hopefully the next sample will be the perfect one so that you can go into production. Number 6, do be proactive. This is your clothing line, so if you are new at this, then definitely get familiar with how things work. And especially if you are on a tight deadline, then you want to get things moving along. And if your manufacturer is taking too long with finding the fabrics and the trims, and they're not coming up with options that you really like, then definitely go and find it yourself. I like to go on Alibaba to look at additional trims, and this also allows me to know which trims I can use, because if something is outside of the MOQ that I can actually reach, then at least I can get prepared and get option B, and then option B won't slow down my sampling process. So it's really important to be proactive and be on the ball. Now, if you want to learn more about how to work with clothing manufacturers and where to find them, then definitely check out this video because it's really going to help you with that. Make sure to really be prepared before you start sampling and producing with your manufacturer. I've created a special checklist for you to download so that you can use that to really get prepared, and you can download that in the description box below. All I ask for in return is to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really find it valuable and you think it's going to help a friend or whoever, definitely share it. I would really appreciate that. Now, if you're looking to start a clothing line and you're looking for full support, then I want to invite you to check out the Start Your Fashion Business Accelerator program. This is a special 8-week program where you will be mentored under me so that you can successfully launch your fashion business. I'm so excited about this program because it's so much more than just an online course. It's a mentorship program where you will get consultations from me and you will be guided throughout this entire process, even after you complete the course and have your fashion brand. You will also have support from our mastermind group of fellow like-minded entrepreneurs such as yourself, and it's an awesome community, and everyone in the community now are launching their fashion brands, so I'm super excited about that. Head to my Instagram at Start Your Fashion Business so you can also see what our students are saying about the course so far. And as always, I'm here to give you so much value, so make sure to subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you next week.